Hello everyone, welcome to Eminent Personality Webinars. As you know, this is managed by the TechnoBiz. I'd like to mention briefly about what it is for this Eminent Personality Webinars. It's all about the professional journey of eminent persons, and it's the journey of well-respected, well-experienced professionals, and it's aimed to give an inspiration to the younger generation based on the learnings from the eminent persons. That's the ultimate objective of these Eminent Personality Webinars. We are actually, TechnoBiz, we are doing this with two themes. One is eminent rubber industry professionals and also the scientists. There are two segments of it. One is in conversation, another is a legacy. In conversation, the people are alive and we're still active and they're doing, we're doing the interview or their journey. And the legacy is there no more, but still in our minds and hearts about their journey. We're focusing on it, like the program today. So today we are here for the legacy of eminent rubber industry professional. And I'd like to, first of all, convey sincere thanks to the Dr. Samar Bandyopadhyaya, and he's actually involved in initiating this project together with TechnoBiz, and also Mr. Narapati Dhar is also very supportive and guiding this program. And there are many other industry friends and also well-wishers and supporters, being part of this project. It's so personal, emotional, this program for TechnoBiz. Also, special thanks to our media, the Rubber Technologist Global Network, and also our Rubber and Digest magazine. And so they're being helpful to promote this program to the wide range of audience. Okay. Sincere thanks to the Society for Industrial Chemistry. They're based in India. It is a society for the professional body for the chemists, scientists, and chemical engineers. So they are also supporting their joining programs. And I encourage any of you interested to be part of this member. It's a very useful society. Okay, please check the details at industrialchem.org for more information on it. I'm pleased to say Holdwell Components, a company which offers a one-stop solution for all elastomeric needs, is a co-host. When I initiated this project, we had a chance to talk to Mr. Kamalesh Jain, the owner of the company. Holdwell Components Pyramids is a good thing to do, and he supports, support this project, and he's been part of this project in every event we are organizing eminent rubber industry professional. Okay. All these programs on eminent rubber industry professionals, we are putting this in our TechnoBiz channel, and so we see every story is unique, every story is useful, every story is very inspiring. We have so far more than 11 or 12 eminent persons we have done eminent personality programs, and well received, and people are appreciating this work. We are really happy about it, and so all these things you can watch them at the TechnoBiz channel. To this program today, you can also watch from tomorrow onwards in our YouTube channel. Okay. We're all here for the Dr. Rabin Datta. He's a special person, I think, well respected, well experienced, a scientist, a researcher, an educator, and really a nice human being. He's not here anymore, but he's in our hearts and minds. There are a lot of friends here who will be talking about him. We learn about him through these friends and colleagues and their family members. What kind of person is Dr. Rabin? How his journey? What are the values he believed in? And what kind of challenge he experienced, and a lot of things we can learn about Dr. Rabin Datta today, not through him, but through his friends, family members, and many of his buddies together. So that's today's program is on the legacy of Dr. Rabin Datta. The agenda will be like this today: a quick intro to the program, and also our Holdwell Components and TechnoBiz activities a little bit, so that everybody have understanding what we are doing. Then we have a video presentation on the Dr. Rabin Datta, and then we invite the Rabin Datta family members to speak about Rabin, and then we have his colleagues and associates will talk about him. Then we have a thank you very much. That's the agenda. We start on time. I cannot guarantee how long it will be, but I will going to be as long as it is. And we'd like to hear all about Dr. Rabin Datta today, his values, his journey, and what is, I want all younger generation to learn from about Rabin Datta and take it, use it in the right way and to grow forward. And so that's the agenda today. Let me give a quick intro to our co-host, the whole components. I will run the video of what is whole components. Please stand by. That's about the whole components. I'll give you a quick intro to TechnoBiz as well, so that you all have understanding about what is TechnoBiz and what kind of activities we offer to the rubber industry. Okay, that's about TechnoBiz. It gives you some idea of what kind of activities TechnoBiz is doing. So let me invite our to provide Mr. Kamalesh Jain to give welcome remarks for the audience as well as a panelist for this program on the Eminent Personality webinar on the legacy of Dr. Rabin Datta. Mr. Kamalesh ji, please come forward. Unmute yourself, please.
Hello, Peram, respected panelists and distinguished speakers. It is a great opportunity for me to be with you all and on this special occasion where we will go through the journey of Dr. Rabin Datta. Uh, when I spoke to Peram, when we talked about this program, I really loved the concept that there is so much to learn while going through journey of people who have contributed to the industry throughout their life and the immense challenges they have faced and their early life and how they have come up by going through the various kinds of companies and products and challenges. So it is very important that we have some good references. I always had a thought in my mind that there should be some good platform where people can share about how they have gone through, what they have gone through, so that the learning is there. Learning is most important. This long experiences of say 40 years, 50 years, you cannot get overnight. You have to understand what the person has gone through, how he has learned, what are the places he has worked. So, in this challenging world, I believe that with digital enabling and collaborating working, shared knowledge and experience, I think lot of things can be done, and I believe these kinds of platform, this digital platform is changing the way we are doing business. We are today also I'm meeting so many people. Few of them I know, few of them are totally new to me, and each one has got some experience with Dr. Rabin Datta, which I would like to listen to. And that's all I would like to say, that the people, the students, the entrepreneurs, this is the best opportunity one can have to sail through somebody's journey on this video mode, which is I would say a very short duration time where you can learn so many things within this short duration time. So I would like to thank you all, and again, thanks Piram for bringing this opportunity to co-host and make this program so efficient. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamalesh. Thank you very much for being part of this one. Very appreciated. So we'll move on to our program now. Let's learn about Dr. Rabin Datta from first invite of by the way, before we start, I will show you the video presentation on the Dr. Rabin Datta. This video I can put together only because of these gentlemen, these ladies to help send us all the beautiful rare pictures. I think Kinsuk Naskar, these pictures are pretty rare, difficult to find. I want to name on Dr. Nico Hunting, Dr. Kinsuk Naskar, Dr. Nityananda Naskar, Professor D.K. Basu, Dr. Kanika Sakaro, Dr. Johan Baiji, Dr. Mukhopadhyaya, Dr. Rajat Datta, Dr. Akat Alma, and Mr. Shaubik Datta. They provide us the pictures. I'm going to show you the video. It's basically a slideshow type of video presentation on the Dr. Rabin Datta. Let me show you the video. And that's the presentation, video presentation on Dr. Rabin Datta. I believe that many of you who know him personally, you can see there's a magical smile and energy of Dr. Rabin Datta. Now I move on to the remarks from the Dr. Rabin Datta's family members. May I invite Mr. Shaubik Datta, the son of the Dr. Rabin Datta. Mr. Shaubik, please.
Welcome, everybody, and thank you, Peram, for organizing this webinar, and thank you all for watching. I am Shaubik. I am the son of Dr. Rabin Datta, and I want to share some personal experiences with my father about his professional life, but also about my father as a person. So when we moved to the Netherlands in the end of January 1990, I was 5, and I remember that when my father had to give a presentation in the Netherlands or abroad, he always practiced his presentation on me. When he put me to bed or when he woke me up, he practiced a part of his presentation on me, so that when he had to give the presentation, it would be perfect. He always traveled a lot, but he always took care of my mother and of me. So he worked hard, and he had traveled a lot, but he always did that for us to give me and also my mother a better life. And in that sense, my father is a very good example of working hard, but always remembering why you are doing it. His work at AkzoNobel and at Flexis, and later at Teijin Aramid, he always took care of the persons from the Netherlands and abroad. As a child, I saw many times that my father invited his colleagues and also friends and customers from abroad to our house to make them feel at home, to make them feel invited, so that the relationship he built with these persons from all over the world, they were not only about business, they were about friendship, about trust. And by establishing those deep relationships, he was able to do his work in the best way he could, by sharing his know-how, his knowledge, by trying also to learn from others, but also educating the people around him. Always busy with his work, but also enjoying his free time with his family. And every 2 years, we went to India, not only to visit our family, but also to visit the former co-workers of my father and my mother. I always remember visiting the ISCS in Kolkata, India, where my father would proudly tell about his years there and see his former co-workers and friends. And I also saw and met them every 2 years, and I also got to know them. And even after so many years, he always kept in touch with them, helped them, advised them, and always was a good friend. Here in the Netherlands, he was not only a very hard working scientist at all the companies that he worked during his life, but he also helped students at the University of Twente with obtaining their PhD, with helping with their postdoc, with helping them in their life. And that's the same he did for me and for my mother. On a personal level, he always helped us, advised us, and he was always there. So for me, it's a very, very good lesson to have learned from my father. Work hard, but it's not only about work, it's about the persons, how you treat them. That is how your success will be measured. So to everybody who is watching, I want to give the same advice. Like my father used to do and say, work hard, be at your best, but in the end, it is about people. And thank you, Param.
Thank you very much, Rabin. Thank you very much. May I invite Mr. Rajat Datta, the brother of Dr. Rabin Datta. Sir, please come forward.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak about my beloved younger brother, Rabin Datta. A very good afternoon to everyone who has joined today for this webinar, and a special thank to Param for organizing this. I am very happy that Rabin is getting the recognition he truly deserves, and that his rich legacy still speaks for itself, even 13 years after his untimely demise. Rabin was 2 years younger than me, and the small age gap ensures that he grew up more like best friend. We grew like best friend than brothers. Rabin was very energetic and intelligent kid, and had a knack for learning and knowledge from very beginning. His go-getter attitude and tenacity set him apart from the rest of the kids of his batch and made him a teacher's favorite in his school, college, university as well. Apart from excelling in academics, he was always involved in some extracurricular activity or others, NCC being one of his favorite. His farsightedness took him to places and helped him scale height at the time when most could not even dream that big. His charming demeanor made him a people's favorite wherever he went. Despite his busy schedule, he never stealed away from his duty and responsibility towards his family, friends, and was always just a phone call away for everyone he ever interacted with. I remember feeling surprised as to how he managed to juggle so many things at the same time. Generally, what I observed, he would catch a late night flight for work, travel over many time zones, go to a different country, review his student dissertations. All these things he used to do. I once asked him, how do we manage all these things? When do you check the dissertations in the university? So he told that whenever he is traveling, because he used to travel around 10 to 15 days in a month. So he told me that while on flight, on board, he is checking the dissertation. So I told, this is not fair, because when you are traveling at such a high speed, you should do some light work. Why you are doing serious work? He told, I never feel any tiredness or any pressure on checking this dissertation. So it was just surprising to me how he is managing, how he is doing all these things. I still don't understand how he managed to fit in everything within his schedule. This way he was able to touch the lives of so many of us. As an elder brother, his accomplishments filled me with joy and pride, despite the ever so present pinning at the corner of my heart for losing him so soon. The last time he spoke, he was enthusiastically telling me about his research and how he was working on something that would be revolutionary invention to increase the longevity of rubber tires. I remember feeling concerned since it was a huge emotional as well physical labor involving tasks that he was taking up on himself. I also asked him, when do you rest? You are traveling and reaching at midnight, and again in the morning you are visiting some companies or like this. So when do you rest? So he was telling, even if I get an hour time or 2 hours time, that is sufficient for me. So this was his attitude. Even after traveling whole night, he didn't feel any jet lag. He was straight going to his office and he joined his duty. That was very surprising to me. The ever smiling Rabin, however, was totally unfair, to say the least, that he felt any tiredness. His zest for life was infectious, and his positive attitude always ensured that he got even the most difficult of job done. He always click with people irrespective of age or delegations. He once told me a funny story about his boss being very angry with him because he failed to respond to multiple mails on time. Agitated, his boss asked him why he didn't respond despite sending so many mails. The jolly, jovial person that Rabin was immediately diffused the tension in the room with a witty response. Instead of so many males, had you sent one female, I would have responded on time, on first on itself. This year marks his 13th death anniversary, but it still seems like yesterday that I heard the familiar "Hello, Rabin here" over the phone. I pray for his peace and happiness wherever he might be now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for this wonderful message. Thank you. Now move on toward the next part of the program, that is a special messages from your Dr. Rabin Datta's colleagues and associates. I may call them friends, buddies, and I invite one by one to share their experience in association with the Dr. Rabin Datta. May I invite Dr. R. Mukhopadhyaya. Please come forward, sir.
Good afternoon to all of you. I'm greatly honored to be a panelist in the Eminent Personality webinar organized by Mrs. TechnoBiz to discuss the legacy of Dr. Rabin Datta. And it is a great pleasure and privilege for me to say a few words about Dr. Rabin Datta, to whom I knew since 1983. Dr. did his, after doing the PhD at the cultivation of science under the guidance of, Dr. D.K. Basu in the year of 1982. After completion of his PhD, went to Germany for postdoctoral fellowship and was associated with the several universities in New York. So far I know that in 1990, Dr. Datta joined at the AkzoNobel Rubber Chemical Division as a business development manager, followed by Messrs. Flexes, wherein he was responsible for developing and marketing the new concept and application area of the new product. He was the key inventor in the number of rubber chemicals that includes the Parker-Link 900 and Sulfuron 3000 and 3001. And, he was also the visiting faculty or visiting professor at the University of Twente in the Netherlands. He was closely associated with the Professor Nugemer in the University of Twente, and also with the Professor Vanus in the University of Cincinnati, USA. His last assignment was the business manager Stratford Kaizen, Turin, located at Arnhem in Netherlands. Dr. Datta, actually, so far I know, is the field of interest, because I was long association, always discussed with me in different international conferences and seminars. His field of interest includes the rubber vulcanization and stabilization, elastomeric blends, nanotechnology, characterizations of the network, structure property relationship, rubber fiber reinforcement, and toxicity, carcinogenity of rubber chemicals. And he was the author of more than 130 technical and research papers and holds more than 45 patent and research disclosures. And he published a book on rubber curing system in 2002, published by the RACRA, and this book was cited by more than hundreds of scientists and researchers worldwide. He wrote several chapters in the different books, including Professor Bromik's, A.K. Bromik's books. And
We lost a voice of Dr. Mukhopadhyay. Dr. Samar, can you hear him?
Listen you. Madam, I can listen you.
Is it Dr. Mukhopadhyay cannot hear him, right? You cannot hear him, right?
Correct.
And when I visited any conference in Europe, and both of you are there, whether it is IRC or Technology Expo, and I make the plan so that I should visit his laboratory. And I tried 3 times. I visited his laboratory, and I also visited his home. I enjoyed with his family, and always he took him to the Indian restaurants nearby. And one things I can tell, the type of the research project jointly carried out, since I'm representing the entire industry, whenever we develop new product like Parkalink 900, we have a lot of works, research projects, and lot of things he tried to explain why these things happen and that happen. He always shared his research finding with us and looked into the possibility of applications in the entire industry. I remember 3 things when I made the 3 conferences. One of them is the conferences in the 2007. We conducted, Indian Rubber Institute conducted India International Rubber Conference at Udaipur, and he presented 2 papers. And the Maharaja of Udaipur, you see, Arvind Singh Mewar, he hosted the dinner in a hotel, the Jag Mandir, at the middle of the Pichola Lake. And this is one of the, the Maharaja himself, really, he is welcoming with everyone, including Rabin Datta, and he was so thrilled that the Maharaja is welcoming him. And the type of the dinners and the type of the function carried out, and after the dinner, he told me he attended several conferences globally. He never seen such type of courtesy is given by the host. And more than 3,000 participants were present in that dinner. And those who have attended, he mentioned is a fabulous. And some of them, today's, the panelists also presented there during this, including Shamad Bandabadhyay. Second incident, actually, the 2009, the All India Rubber Industries Association, jointly with IIT Kharagpur, the Professor Bhumik was a technical convener, and Mr. T.K. Mukherjee, the president of All India Rubber India Association, was a convener. In that conference, it was held in the Salt Lake, the Hotel Hyatt. And at that time, Sulfuran 3000, 3001, we have a long discussion about 1 hour, along with my colleagues in the hotel. The way he was explaining was thrilled, and even in the conference, he never enjoyed the outside trip. He always tried to meet his friends, his researchers, his seniors, to share the knowledge. He was strongly believable. If you want more, you share, more you learn. As a person, really, it is very difficult for me to forget his contributions, especially in the research field, applied research field. At the end, I can tell you he was really speaking a thorough gentleman and dedicated scientist. And I can tell you, he was very systematic and disciplined, and he always respect to the seniors, and very hardworking, easy approachable, whether the students or research scientists or any technical service matters, he always helped to make it out. And he will be remembered globally by our fraternity for his contribution in the rubber research. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Armukhopadhyay. Thank you very much for the message on behalf of the Dr. Rabin Datta. Thank you. I'm going to invite our next guest is Dr. Nico Hunting. Dr. Nico, please come forward.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Peram. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak a few words about Rabin. Yeah, Dr. Rabin Datta, but we call each other just by the first name. Rabin, he was my manager at the time I worked for Flexus, but also at Eminent. And it was always a very great pleasure to work with him. Rabin was a person, he was my manager, but he never gave me the feeling that he was my boss, because he was always acting as a good friend, and he was really a good coach for me. I learned a lot from him about rubber technology, of course, but also about fiber technology, but also about more important things in life, about families, about relations, and how to handle with each other. Rabin was also really a very good motivator. He could really motivate people, and he motivated myself to start my PhD at the University of Enschede. And he supported me really a lot to succeed, and I'm very grateful to him for that. Well, at the time when we worked for Flexus, at a certain moment, Flexus decided to stop all the activities in the Netherlands. And of course, Rabin and I and all my colleagues working also in the Rubber Lab, we had to find for new opportunities. And it was interesting to see that, of course, all the people start to look, hey, is there a new possibility for myself? But Rabin, I was sitting and sharing with him in office. He was the whole day on the phone, not to find a new position for himself, but he was really trying to find positions for all the people working in the laboratory. Well, at the end, Rabin and we found a new position at Eminent, and his good friend Johan Bai, who was also a colleague at that time, he decided to continue the Rubber Lab, to take it over as a private-owned company. And luckily, most of the people working in the Rubber Lab could also continue their work at that laboratory. Well, the personal Rabin is really, I think, what you could see on the pictures. He was always surrounded by students or by colleagues. He was always friendly, smiling, positive-minded. And what I always remember is, if you were working on a project, sometimes projects do not run smoothly, and you say, how can I continue? And after discussing with Rabin, there was always an opening to continue with your work. Well, in meetings or when Rabin was presenting at a conference, it was always nice to see that at the end, the people asking questions, then Rabin was able to answer the question in such a way that the people really get an answer and understand what Rabin was talking about. Because often you see that people asking questions and they get an answer, but that answer is only generating many other type of questions. And that was really what Rabin could do. He could understand the knowledge of the people he was talking to and giving an answer that you really understand what he was talking about. One of the things Rabin also was extremely good is interacting with other people. He was also a very good entertainer during meetings or dinners with colleagues and with customers. It's always very funny to be present there. Also, one of the things what Rabin did was spending a lot of his free time in the weekends to pick up customers from the airport. And he did that to make sure that the people find a safe way to the hotel, but also to show them proudly part of a country. And as what Subik mentioned, he took them home to his family to show them the house. Sometimes people could even sleep at their house. So he was really good in building relations and taking care of the people. One thing that maybe not all of you will know is also that he was quite good in hand reading. And that was interesting in the office because usually at the end of the days, when I saw Rabin with one of the ladies from inside sales sitting in his office, then I already knew that the lady was pregnant because many of them, they came to Rabin for reading the hands because they wanted to know if they would get a son or a daughter. And based on the feedback, it seems that he was always right. For sure, it is more difficult for his wife Simona and for his son Subik. But we at Deze en Eminent, and I personally, still we are missing Rabin a lot. Of course, as a good friend, but also as a very valuable colleague and a person. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nico, for your kind words and about learn about the palm reading as well. Thank you very much. May I invite Dr. Okay Thalma. Please come forward, sir.
Yes, thank you. It's really a privilege for me to contribute today as well. A lot of things have been said already. I think we all have similar memories regarding Rabin, and I just cannot more agree than what was said already before. A couple of things from my experience. I got the letter he wrote when he applied for a job in AXO from Dr. Johan Bai. And there I read that he did his PhD he got his PhD in 1987, and it was on studies on accelerated vulcanization systems. And there I think he got really infected with the rubber virus or the black box virus, where he, as a scientist, wanted to elucidate what's going on and what can be improved. And that's what he really did as a scientist during his whole career, I would say. After he did his PhD, he went to Germany as a postdoc kind of thing at the Cancer Institute in Germany. And then he applied for a job in AXO in May 1989, so he joined in early 1990, as was said already before. And that's where we really became good friends. I also wrote down a couple of things. He was really, as was said before, dedicated to work, to research. He was really into fundamental research, understanding as a chemist what is going on a molecular level, and he kept that until the end, which is quite amazing in the career he made from a researcher, technical development manager, and finally as a business manager. I think that was really good, and I think that keeps you involved really in the details in the chemistry and not only shift to the business. I think a very good combination to know. Next to that, already mentioned as well, he was really a family man. He liked the family, and next to that, he liked people as friends. So we became really good friends. We went on holidays together with the families as well. I also remember he was the guy in meetings internally, but also with customer, he could break the ice, so to say. He was always having a joke or making fun, which made it easy to go into meetings. Always very well prepared. into the detail, as Shubik said. I didn't know he was testing his presentations on him. But also he liked to introduce something new in all his presentations. And that is also why he became very broad in his expertise. He covered the whole field of the rubber industry. Whatever topic you can dream of, he was interested, did some work, and was involved. He liked to share his knowledge. I also found in his CV that he had his first article written already in 1984 for RCT, Rubber Chemistry and Technology. And when he joined Akzo Nobel in 1990, he had already 22 publications done. So that was really his interest, and he liked to share his knowledge, his know-how, and I think that was mentioned earlier. And he kept doing that. I think during the time we worked together in Akzo on the Percolink 900 anti-reversion project, he kept on publishing the research results we had. Next to that, I think he was also a good cook, I must say. We traveled a lot, and he traveled really a lot, especially Japan, with our colleague from Akzo over there, Dr. Mori-san. He was eating peanuts in the train because that was the only thing they could do between visiting customers. I still remember he went on the plane with sheets we used to have in those days, with about 20-25 kgs of sheets for different presentations at different customers. But that's really what he liked to do. We did a lot of work together on the fundamental research for especially the anti-reversion agents, together with a lot of people, but he was really connecting people and work. He published a lot. We got a lot of patents also together. You saw in the presentation. Went a couple of times together to India, and what I remember over there is you arrive from Europe in, for instance, Mumbai in the middle of the night, but then the first thing he wanted to do is look for some Indian food. He liked Indian food so much that he needed it at that time. But he also loved his country. He loved India. He was always talking about it, sharing it. And I happily remember that just before he passed away, we were able to go, the four of us, my wife and Rabin and Shimona, to Goa and Mumbai, where we had a very nice short holiday. And that's a very good remembrance I have. We worked part-time, both. He dragged me, actually he was the one who made me enthusiastic about rubber. And once you get that virus, you never get out. And I'm still in. He also asked me to join the university in those days. And now after my retirement, I'm back into helping out at the University of Twente. So that's basically my memory. Still think a lot of those days, still miss him a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tharma. Thank you very much. May I invite Mr. Jaimani B. Please come forward, sir.
Good afternoon to all. My name is Jayamani, worked in MRF Tires for more than 45 years and retired in November 2020. First of all, let me thank Mr. Param for arranging this elite event to pay a tribute to our friend Dr. Rabin Datta. Each one of us in this event have got their own memories with this man. Since I was involved in material development, I had the opportunity to interact with Dr. Rabin Datta for more than 10 years. It is my pleasure to share with you some of my memories on Rabin Datta. Friends, even though we belong to different ages and have different careers and different interests, but we all have one thing in common, that is our admiration of this man who never quits until the job is done. That man was Rabin Datta. In the technical front, in rubber technology, whenever the word reversion comes, Rabin Datta's name will be remembered by his innovative reversion resistance chemical perchlorine 900 and his various research papers on crosslink systems. He was also remembered for his detailed work on sulfron. Whenever he came to MRF for promoting his material, he always covers various topics of interest in addition to knowing the status of his own developmental chemicals. He put a lot of effort in ensuring his presentation was always audience-oriented and useful to all sections of people. Lot of informations available in literature, patents, magazines, and conference paper 1 year were condensed in one or 2 hour presentation in a nutshell and presented to the audiences. So much of hard work he has done to make a presentation successful. Of course, the topic may include trends in tire industry in Europe and US, independent lab analysis report on various tires, reverse engineering, and of course, the structural property relationship with rubber and additives. His presentation was so interesting and useful, knowledgeable. My boss, late Georgian, Director R&D of MRF, he gave a standing instruction to me that he wanted to attend all Rabin Datta presentation today and future also. And he always made it a point to attend his presentation, even on some urgent work comes, but he gave priority for Rabin Datta presentations. That was the usefulness of this presentation. Normally, I have observed high-profile technical people will not mix with the lower level. But this man, in spite of his high technical caliber, he enjoys interacting with all people and clarifies the technical query and obtain shop floor and ground floor information for improving his product, like the different version of sulfron 3000, 3001, and 3515. That was his success. He was very simple, charming, humorous, suppose make jokes, even ever smiling, and care for others, in addition to his sound technical knowledge as innovator. He creates a comfort zone for his people for better interactions and keep the surroundings joyful. He was a good trainer and teacher, going to basic chemistry to clarify points during technical interaction. He was a good communicator and trainer. More than that, he was a gentleman and human being. We consider Rabin Datta as encyclopedia and potential source of information on crosslink systems. If I require any information or clarification, I always depend on him and get the reply immediately from him. On a personal note, once after a technical meeting at MRF, he requested me to identify a shop at Chennai where he wanted to purchase a gift for his wife. I took him to a jewelry shop and he selected one, indicating his wife will like that very much That was love for his family members. He also once proudly mentioned to me that when he and his wife gave some money to his son for his expenses, when he was not earning, he declined, saying, "Dad, this was the money earned by you, and you spend for your happiness. I will earn for my spending." Rabin told me, that is my son, having full confidence on himself and not want to be dependent on others. In fact, he always requested me to visit his house many times, but unfortunately, this could not be materialized due to my occupations. But I had the privilege and opportunity of taking him to my house in Chennai on 2 occasions for evening coffee, and he talked freely with my family members. In his last visit to Chennai, he landed at 9:30 p.m. due to late arrival of the flight, and he wanted to meet me, saying that his visit in Chennai is accomplished only after my meeting with me. Based on his request, I met him with Mr. Sethu Madhavan of SBM Chemicals Mumbai in Chennai Besanagar Beach till 11 p.m. Discussing various topics of interest, technical, non-technical, and something personal also. At that time, I did not know that this was his last visit to Chennai. One Sunday morning, Mr. C.R. Gupte, MD of Nozzle Rubber Chemicals, rang up and informed me that your friend Rabin Datta was no more. I literally cried for a while, and he consoled me by talking about his contribution and accomplishment, achievement in rubber industry as an Indian gentleman. Mr. Rabin, you are no longer with us, but you are in our mind and soul, and your values, principles, and contribution will always be remembered and cherished by the present and the future generation in the rubber industry. Once again, thank you very much, Mr. Prem, for arranging this elite event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your kind words. Next, may I invite Dr. Kanika Sahakaro. Dr. Kanika, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kanika Sahakaro from Prince of Songkhla University in Thailand. I am working for Department of Rubber Technology and Polymer Science, and I'm currently a Dean for the Faculty of Science and Technology. So first of all, thanks Piram for giving me a chance to participate in this eminent personality webinar on Dr. Rabin Datta. I first met Rabin at the University of Twente in the Netherlands in 2004, when I went there for doing my postdoc for 1 year. Rabin and Dr. Alker Thalma were at that time working part-time at university, providing academic support to all students, including postdoc like me, in the Department of Rubber Technology under the chair of Professor Jacques Nodomir. They usually came every month to sit down, discuss the work with all PhD candidates and postdocs. So it was a very good chance for me to work with them, to have help from them, gaining so many valuable comments and suggestions to improve my work. And even when I face some problem, they always come up with some suggestion to overcome those problems. The moment that I remember and impressed the most about Rabin, I would like to tell everyone here. It was the day that I went to elastomer research testing or ERT lab in Devonton in order to prepare some of my specimens for ozone resistant testing and also fatigue experiment. That was a recommendation from Rabin to go to ERT lab, and he suggests that okay, they have instrument there and they have special design mode that you can use there. And importantly, he knew Dr. Johan Bai very well, and that helped a lot to allow me to gain access to the lab easily. I could not imagine that, okay, on that day, I had Rabin coming to work to help me along the to the end of that day. So he came to teach me how to operate the instrument at the company. And as you can see from the photo in the video shown previously, I and Rabin working together in front of the compression molding. And that was the moment that reflects his personality. So he not only gave me suggestion, comments in terms of academic, but he was so kind, giving help whatever, wherever, or whenever we needed. So I'm grateful for that. And luckily, Dr. Johan Bai came to us and took a photo of us. So that's why I have such a precious photo keeping with me till today, and I can show that to you, all of you today. And as a Thai working in the Netherlands, it was not easy in the beginning, and Rabin was one of the good friends there who helped me to adapt easily in the Netherlands. And he was kind hard. I remember like on that day again, Rabin took me for lunch, and at the end of the day, he offered a dinner and he cooked a nice food for us. So as previous people already mentioned that, or Alker mentioned that he can cook very well, and he showed to me as well. So he took me to his house. So I met his wife. He showed around his garden and his library. So he is a very good reader with a huge collection of books. So that's why he really learned a lot and have a very deep knowledge in rubber science and technology, and also for chemistry. From that 1 year of postdoc, we managed to publish 4 articles in peer-reviewed journal, 3 in Journal of Applied Polymer Science, and 1 in Rubber Chemistry and Technology, based on a super teamwork led by Professor Nonomir, and of course with a great support from Alker Tauma and Rabin Datta. Even though I spent 4 years in England before coming to the Netherlands, but cycling in the Dutch jungle was not easy, as I mentioned. So by having good people around, having a very true friendship given by colleagues, that made life easier, and work can be very productive. He was a very thoughtful scientist with very deep knowledge. Even I met him for a very short time, but I think I can learn a lot from him, and he was part of my academic career till today. I returned to Thailand after my postdoc in 2005, but I started my journey back to Amsterdam again in 2008 because we had some research project collaboration under the double degree with the university there. I had a chance to meet Rabin a few times before hearing a sad news that he passed away in 2009. But I'm sure that he will be missed forever, and he deserves a great respect from all of us. So thank you very much, Rabin.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kanika. Thank you very much. We have a message from the Professor D.K. Basu. It's a written message. Let me show you that message. And I'll ask Dr. Samar to come forward to read this message because it is in Bengali language. Yeah, Dr. Samar.
Yeah, this message has been sent to Dr. Nityananda Naskar by Professor D.K. Basu's son. So the message says in Bengali, Kaku, Baba আজ জানিয়েছেন যে শারীরিক ও বয়সজনিত কারণে ওই দিন অনুষ্ঠানে উপস্থিত থাকা তার পক্ষে সম্ভব হবে না। The meaning is, Uncle, Father has conveyed us because of his ill health and elderness, he will not be able to be present on this day. Means today. Today, Professor D.K. Basu may not be able to present in this event because of his ill health and elderliness. রবিন কাকুর স্মৃতির প্রতি আমাদের পরিবারের সকলের তরফ থেকে বিনম্র শ্রদ্ধা ও কৃতজ্ঞতা নিবেদন করি। In the memory of Rabin uncle, all of us from our family, we express our regards and gratitudeness towards him. তার সদা হাস্যময় মুখ, তার উচ্চ রসবোধ কোনোদিন ভুলবার নয়। His smiling face and the humor cannot be forgotten. আজও তার কণ্ঠস্বর স্পষ্ট কানে বাজে। His voice still resembles in our ear. বেশ মনে পড়ে তার প্রথম সান্নিধ্য লাভের দিনটি। We can well remember the first day of his presence. That was, সেটি ছিল 1986. That year was 1986. আন্তরিকতা ও স্নেহের যে বন্ধনে তিনি আমাদের সবাইকে বেঁধেছিলেন তা তো ভুলবার নয়। Because of his humanity and loving nature, he took all of us together and we cannot forget that. সেই স্নেহ ঋণী হওয়া গরিমারি বিষয়। We feel proud because of that love. আপনারা সবাই আমার প্রণাম নেবেন। All of you take our regards. ছোটদের আন্তরিক শুভেচ্ছা জানাবেন। Please convey our well wishes to the younger people. খুব ভালো থাকবেন। May God keep you all well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Samar. May I invite Mr. Narapati Dhar to come forward.
Good afternoon to you all. I am Narapati Dhar from based in Mumbai, India. Though I was born and brought up in Kolkata and my education was in Kolkata. Thank you all so much for attending this webinar in the memory of Dr. Rabin Datta, leaving aside your all other priorities. Special thanks to Mr. Param, Dr. Samar, and friends and well-wishers of Dr. Rabin. Without their commitments and efforts, this endeavor would not have seen light of the day. I personally feel privileged and honored today to be given an opportunity to share my association with Dr. Rabin Datta in front of this august audience. Honestly, I am feeling very emotional and sentimental to talk about this association, which is very, very close to my heart. First time I met Dr. Rabin was in 2005 at our office in Mumbai. There was a brief meeting and my boss introduced me to Dr. Rabin and mentioned that he was technical manager of Teji Naramide, responsible for mechanical rubber goods and tires. As I was responsible for textile reinforcement section of my company, having experience with tire companies and tire cord fabric company, I was asked to coordinate with Dr. Rabin for all the technical matters. In fact, I was his constant companion during his visits, which were normally twice a year to India, to tire companies and emerging customers for the subsequent about 4 years. First thing that impressed me was his unassuming approach, despite his very impressive credentials, technical background, achievements, above all, representing a global company. Traveling used to be hectic, starting from Monday early morning to late Friday evening across length and breadth of India. For convenience and to save time, Dr. Rabin used to stay in hotels close to the airport. As we had to get the next morning flight, I could not go back home at Thane, and I also used to stay back near the airport. What is most interesting is, despite the hectic traveling schedule, I never found him exhausted or expressing his displeasure or unhappiness about anything whatsoever. I found Dr. Rabin to be generally an introvert in nature and normally avoided talking about personal matters. But I remember one incident. One day we were traveling by train. He mentioned that he was very concerned about his aged mother who was not keeping too well, and he would be visiting her at their native place soon. He would never shy away mentioning about his upbringing in a middle-class family. However, I never heard him boasting to anybody about his achievements and contributions in his professional life, representing a global company, or about his association with the prestigious Department of Elastomer Technology and Engineering, University of Twente. I was fortunate to get a chance to visit the Eminent, and Dr. Rabin invited me to spend the weekend with his family. While returning from office, Dr. Rabin first took me to the Department of Elastomer Technology and Engineering and introduced me to Professor Nordin Meyer and later to the research scholars in the department. On the way, we next went to meet Mr. Shovik, Dr. Rabin's son, at his hostel, and later went to Dr. Sumana's office at Zonoval. By heart, he was a family man. What I observed was that not only he was a dedicated professional, but also a dedicated family man. On the way home, he visited the local stores and got the necessary provisions for home. More surprises were to come. At home, I found him sitting on a mat on the floor and preparing chapati for dinner. He used to maintain a very controlled life. I was told that after getting up in the morning, every day he used to do the yoga exercises. And he was also very much attached to his garden. Whenever he's at home, he would go to the garden, inspecting and watering the plants and spend some time there. After taking bath, he would do puja daily before leaving for the office. As a person and professional, as I have seen him, customers and all around him knew him as an excellent technical person. However, very few people probably knew that he was one of the finest marketing personnel I've witnessed in my long association with marketing departments of various companies. Whenever he used to visit India, his shoulder bag was always loaded with technical information, technical data on the latest developments on rubber, tire technology, aramide, and allied fields. As expected, conference rooms of various companies used to be full, including some of the very senior technical personnel, all eagerly waiting to listen to Dr. Rabin. Once the discussions were over, after about 2 hours, mostly the customers themselves used to come forward and share with him the observations and suggestions on any ongoing trials or projects, and further action plans were decided in a very cordial atmosphere on matters of mutual interest. I personally am certain that Dr. Rabin had the essential qualities of a true leader, namely humility, clarity, courage, and vision. His main asset was that he was a very good human being, and people used to love him for his knowledge and his eagerness to share his knowledge with all without any reservations. Dr. Rabin was my friend, a well-wisher, and a guide. The sad and untimely demise of Dr. Rabin left a permanent void in my life, I do not intend to fill it up the void as a mark of remembrance of Dr. Rabin. I felt that though it was a short life, but it was a very meaningful one with so many contributions and so much achievements, which we are already aware of. Like many other people and his family members, I wish we could get more of Dr. Rabin in this lifetime. Thank you, Dr. Rabin, for enriching the lives of so many people in and around you with your knowledge, commitment, and your attitude of supporting and helping others without any reservations. Lastly, thank you all for your valuable time and patient listening and thought.
Thank you, Mr. Narapatidar, for kind words and valuable message on Dr. Rabin Datta. Let me invite the next Mr. Leo Nijhan. Mr. Leo, please come forward.
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Leo Nijhan, and I am working for the company called Nourion, which is the successor of AkzoNobel Specialty Chemicals. I worked for a very long time within Akzo, which became later AkzoNobel. So I did see Rabin coming, and that was a very nice period to have him on board. Because if you say some words about Rabin, and if you really ask me to speak about some specifics, what is always in my mind, that is, first of all, when he came to the Netherlands, he did of course not speak Dutch. And Dutch is not an easy language to absorb and to learn. It's not difficult once you are mastering it, but you have to climb a mountain to really master Dutch. And in the beginning, we really did games with Rabin to learn him some specific words. And some words I remember, the words like mooi, lekker, and leuk, which is beautiful, nice, and pretty. But if you build them in a sort of sentence in an incorrect way, you get some odd situations, and we explained them. So we had a lot of fun. But what was behind is that Rabin had the drive to adapt and to learn as quickly as possible the Dutch language, because he said, then I am really a part of the team and I can better understand what you are saying and I can express myself in a better way. Another thing, what always is keeping in my mind is that, when we worked in the application laboratory of Johan Bay, of course, there is not always machinery available for everyone. And you had to do a planning. And Johan Bay was keen. He had a vertical board, what you could use as planning board over the different weeks, where you could allocate a machinery. And the system was quite simple. We had, of course, not that full access to computers, what you have nowadays, but it was working with a sort of Lego brick concept. So you had, in function of time, you could select equipment. And if you want to block the rayometer, or if you want to block an internal mixer or whatever, you could place bricks on the planning board. And Rabin was very mild, and he said, let everyone plan and I will take my time later on. And then when everyone has done the planning, Rabin took a fistful of Lego bricks and he was planning all the time that he saw as free opportunity. And then we said, look at all the time what he's doing. But he really managed also to get all this equipment running. And that it has been said before, Rabin was a hard worker. He was not a real 8 to 5 mentality man. He was exceeding it. He was even sometimes working till 7 o'clock. So he was really a hard worker to make research in a way that he understood what he was doing. A third thing what I would like to share with you all is that I remember very much that we went on a trip to Finland. And in a trip to Finland, it was in the winter time. And the weather, we were already announced on the flight that weather conditions were not ideal. Not to say it was a nightmare. It was winter time and it was snowing. It was really very hard snowing. And from the airport, we had to hire a car and we had to drive to the north to Tampere. I think it's close to 200 kilometers. Normal, you take 2 hours and you are on the spot where you have to be. But at that time, I think we could not drive faster than 15 miles per hour. So it was slowly and slowly. But that time, Rabin said, okay, let's make the time useful. And then he started with exchanging information about chemistry. And that is what his heart was. And he liked to teach and he liked to share. So we started with polymerization reactions. If it was radical reaction or if it was a polycondensation reaction, he explained the Diels-Alphen reaction. He had Grignard reactions. And I had the feeling I'm back to school and I have to do again. And then sulfur chemistry was coming. And if that was dithiocarbamates, if it was sulfonamides, thiazoles, sulfur donor, he was a walking direction. He had all the knowledge on board. And the funny thing was, he ended with the anti-reversion agent, Percolink 900, was mentioned frequently. And now you have to know, Rabin was in the sulfur accelerator business, but I was representing peroxide cure systems. So I said to him, why are people not using directly peroxide cure systems? Because that is not reversion sensitive. And then he came with a tsunami of arguments and saying, Leo, listen, A, B, C, D, D, and all these arguments he was really, really mentioning, and he could dream what he could say. At the end, he said, but Leo, it's a good idea what you have. Why are we not joining forces and let's look to hybrid systems? Perhaps that is bringing also something. So in short, he was really, willing to share his know-how, but also open for new ideas. And that is always, kept in my mind that Rabin was so friendly in discussion. And if you now at the end, I say, look at Rabin as placing a stone in the river. The stone will redirect the water. It will not stop the water, but the stone can access you to reach a step further, and perhaps sometimes with dry feet to pass the river and to come on the other side. The stone will ever be there. That's what I like to share with you, and I like to thank you for letting me contribute in this session. Thank you all.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Leo. Thank you very much. We have a next panelist, Professor Anil Bhaumik. Many of you know he is unable to join, but he has sent a written message on his behalf. I will read out for you all. I knew Rabin for a long time. At this moment, I don't remember the year when we came to know each other. He was very humble and polite, and I had always enjoyed talking to him. We appreciated each other's work in our professional life. He did interesting work in the area of vulcanization of rubber. I worked on high temperature vulcanization before him. That was partly the common ground, other than the fact that he used to speak my language. His work spans from vulcanization mechanisms to fiber science, all related to tires. I remember some of his important papers on multifunctional additives, zinc-free curatives for sulfur vulcanization, activators in accelerated sulfur vulcanization, ultra small angle X-ray scattering study of flocculation in silica-filled rubber, chemical additives migration in rubber, etc. I like the way he dealt with science in these manuscripts in depth. He had many patents to his credit, mostly with hygiene, aramid, and few with oxonodone and Lexus. We were always in touch, and we met few times in the rubber division meetings in the USA and some conferences in India. When I was editing my book on current topics of elastomer research, published by the CRC Press in USA, I invited him to write one chapter on updates on rubber curing systems. But he insisted that he would contribute to 2 chapters, another one on degradation and protection. I was fearing whether he would be able to complete both the chapters on time, and without those, the publication would be delayed. Surprisingly, these were the first few chapters received on time. Such a hard-working person. I don't know how many nights he went without sleep in his life just to achieve his academic goal and his commitments. My memorable meeting with him was in Netherlands. I visited the Netherlands as a foreign examiner of Kinsuk Nasker's PhD thesis when Kinsuk was a student at the University of Twente. Now he is a professor at IIT Kharagpur. At the invitation of Professor Jack Nodimir. Usually in regular meetings, we are always busy networking and doing business. This time, we were with our family members. There was no scope for such business talks and social hours. We had lots of fun. Kinsuk would recall. We shared many of our beautiful moments together. Thanks to Professor Nodimir for having created the platform for this indelible memory. I organized an IRE conference in Calcutta on behalf of AIRA in 2009. I invited him for a talk. He readily agreed and gave a talk on novel compound ingredients for tires. As usual, we talked on a variety of topics in Kolkata. That was the last time I met this great gentleman. He was always smiling, never gave his pain to others. He was a true scientist. Accelerators, anti-degradants, and fibers were always in his heart and wing. And he never had to refer to books. His contribution to rubber science is very deep. I really missed him for a few years after he was gone for a heavenly life and a true solace. I thank Peram and Samar for giving us an opportunity to remember his activities and my association. Anil Bhamik. That's a message from Professor Anil Bhamik. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for sending this message on behalf of the Dr. Rabin Datta. Now I invite Professor Kinsuk Nasker to come forward to say a few words about Dr. Rabin Datta.
Thank you very much. Good morning or good afternoon to everyone. When Peram said that he's planning to organize a webinar on Dr. Rabin Datta, I said, Peram, that it is going to be an excellent opportunity to share his knowledge and to others. Okay. And whatever experiences we had with him, we can also share. I knew about him from when I was actually a teenager, since my uncle and Dr. Rabin Datta were very good friends for a long time. I personally met him first time physically during the conference. Right after the conference talk, he has given a kind of I think it was keynote lecture on this anti-reversion thing during 1998 December at the International Rubber Conference, which was held in Chennai. So I just met him that time. I was a master student, and that time I didn't have any clue that I had to interact with him later on. Okay. And that opportunity came in 2000 when Professor Day and Professor Sadhan Day from our Rubber Technology Center met Professor Nodimir sometime in late 1999. And Professor Nodimir was looking for a student who is having background in rubber technology, having master degree, and Professor Day recommended my name. And I was a little skeptic since I didn't have any clue about the country like Netherlands. Okay, the only thing I knew about Netherlands by that time was about Dutch football, and I knew about the names of that trio, the genius Ruud Gullit, Van Basten, and Rijkaard. Nothing else about Netherlands, not much. So I got confused, and of course that time also I had a discussion in the office of Professor SK, and luckily Dr. Dr. R. Mukhopadhyay was also there in that discussion, and he also recommended, Dr. Mukhopadhyay also recommended me to go to Netherlands. And then well, I came to know Dr. Datta more and more, and for your information, when I landed in Schiphol Airport, it was Dr. Rabin Datta and his son Sovik, who is also here today, to take me to his home. I stayed overnight. My first night in Netherlands was at the house of Rabin Datta. Such a beautiful house with nice garden. Who can forget about that? Well, and then literally he took me to the train station of Deventer, and that's the way my journey started to go to Enschede in 2000, and then 2000 till 2004. So during this 2000 to 2004, during these 4 years, I had plenty of interactions with him. I had the opportunity to know him better as my co-promoter, my co-supervisor also. And you know that also in by the end of December, I think by the end of 2000 already, Dr. Datta also started you know, as a kind of visiting professor at the group of Professor Nodamir, and he used to come on every Friday. So but as soon as he came to the department, having coffee and chatting with the colleagues, I can tell you the entire environment, the mood of the room could change, literally. I mean, he used to crack nice jokes, and as soon as the coffee, drinking coffee is over, interaction is over, then he used to you know, have you know, participate in the discussion, the technical discussion with the research scholars, with my friends, and then I mean, he is a completely different guy then. So I have a lot of sweet memories, and I have noted down some of the points, so what I thought I could share with you today. Well, as a mentor, I would I mean, say that he was an excellent mentor. Always he came up with nice ideas, even in your difficult time. He used to give you several ideas, so that as soon as you get that, you started rethinking, and you get enlightened. And you know, he could motivate the research scholars very well, I would say. And of course, you know, this he was an excellent human being, as it is being mentioned by many of them. Very helpful, always keen to share his knowledge to others, always you know, explaining the things very well, very easily. I mean, if you talk about any difficult topics of rubber technology or rubber chemistry, like for example viscoelasticity or dynamic mechanical analysis, WLF equation, he used to explain the things in a very easy way, so that you learn from him and you remember forever. And he was, of course, a very lively person, as I mentioned, and having great sense of humor. He was, of course, it was mentioned before by Auke and Kanika as well, that he was an excellent cook. And I used to ask him, how did you manage? How could you make it so simple, this cooking? And he used to say that, yeah, it is a little bit of nothing but playing with the chemistry a little bit, and it is easier for him since he is chemist by his academic profession. And I could remember, because I was definitely not a good cook. Even today I am not a good cook, but I learned how to cook you know, chicken curry from him. And I still carry that diary where he basically wrote on his own words that how to cook chicken curry. And I really loved the way he prepared this chicken curry, and especially the curry with cauliflower. And many a times I was lucky to, you know, enjoy his and witness his cooking the cooking skill. He was, excellent rubber technologist. So it is very difficult, to have both the knowledges, like rubber processing as well as rubber chemistry. He was the kind of person who had a vast knowledge about both these, science and technology very well. And of course, when I became, assistant professor, and in 2005-06, that time I came back to India. But we were constantly in touch, and he used to share a lot of nice things, what is happening, and I used to know from him that what is happening in the industry, in rubber world, quite often we used to talk about anti-reversion agent like Parkalink 900. Sometimes we did talk about the sulfron, and I used to work with his materials as well. And I was in very good touch with Nico and Rabin that time also about this. And whenever he is in India for some for giving some talks in conference, we used to meet. And we used to share our thoughts, and some of the pictures I think you saw from our conference in Cochin, and things like that. So I still miss him beyond 2009, but I would say that he was the kind of person, and with a lot of energy, with a lot of nice ideas. And I'll remember always him, since he was the man behind shaping my academic career. Thank you very much. And I think also the younger generation who is listening and enjoying this program today, they should always refer, and they should always read the kind of work he has done, the kind of publications he had made, and especially with special reference to the field of rubber chemistry and technology. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor Kinsuk Naskar. Thank you very much. I have a message from the Professor Nikhil Singha. You sent a message that just to Dr. Rabin Datta. Dr. Rabin Datta is one of the most eminent rubber technologists. He did a pioneer work in anti-reversion chemistry of natural rubber organization. Thank you, Professor Nikhil. Now I invite Dr. Amit Das to come forward. Can you unmute your speaker, please?
Yes. Thank you for inviting me in this online platform to remember Dr. Datta. Respected Dr. Mukhopadhyay, Mr. Kamlesh Jain, Dr. Prem Prasad, Dr. Nityananda Naskar, Dr. Saman Bandapadhyay, Professor Kinsuk Naskar, Dr. Auke Talma, Mr. Rajat Datta, Souvik Datta, and honorable experts and colleagues who are present in this online event. Actually, we are gathered here today in memory of my dear colleague, mentor, and guide, Dr. Rabin Datta. This online platform is really a great event to pay a tribute towards our beloved Rabinda. I really appreciate this initiative by Prem. Actually, nearly more than a decade ago, we lost a genuinely one individual, more importantly, an inventor and a great scientist, rubber scientist, actually. My relation with Dr. Datta was not only a professional colleague, rather a closest friend, a big brother, a mentor and guide. My involvement with Dr. Datta takes back to the year 1999. As he and me, we have done our doctoral degree program in a same rubber research laboratory headed by Professor Deepak Kumar Basu. He is one of my senior PhD batch member of Professor Basu, and I am the last student of Professor Basu. So actually he is 12 years senior than me. And when I was admitted in PhD program in Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, which is situated in Calcutta, on that time Dr. Datta was very much established in Netherlands. I could have a chance to meet him only 2 to 3 times. One time in Dresden. He came to Dresden most probably in 2008 for a project meeting that is funded by Dutch Polymer Institute. And though we have not spent many days together, but we used to chat in telephone at least once in a month. During my PhD program, I used to get many rubber chemicals dispatched from Netherlands by the help of Dr. Datta. As I was the last scholar of Professor D.K. Basu, I had many privileges from all my seniors like Dr. Nityananda Naskar, Dr. Arup Ghosh, Dr. Subhas Devnath, and Dr. Rabin Datta. I used to learn many important topics and specific knowledge from them. For example, rubber people know very well what is pain effect. I learned this term, this typical field rubber characteristics from Dr. Datta only. He explained me what is double strain amplitude, for example, and how this kind of data can be extracted from a uniter. So in this way, I had a very good relations with him. And finally, I have to confess that I am starting my every working day in Dresden with the name of Dr. Datta. You can ask me why. The position what I hold even today is actually initiated by Dr. Datta. He only convinced Professor Hendricks to take me in his group, who was on that time the director of our institute. I did my PhD in 2004, and in the 2005 in summertime, I was searching a job in India, and suddenly I received a phone call from Datta that there could be a position in Germany for me. And it was like a gift from the God. Today, I am very much happy to share this message that last 17 years, I am still holding the same position in Dresden due to Dr. Datta. So I will not continue more today. I wish all the best with Sovi and Sumanadi. Finally, I have to say that we are not here to create memories, but Robinda is always in our memories, and rubber wall always will be blessed by his great invention and works in rubber science and technology. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amit. Thank you very much. May I invite Dr. Prashant Kumar Das to come forward.
Greetings to all the dignitaries present today as a speaker for legacy of Dr. Rabin Datta, our eminent technologist. Thank you very much, Piram, TechnoBiz and Dr. Samad to give me an opportunity to speak something about Dr. Rabin Datta. Let me introduce first myself, Dr. Das. I'm working right now in Indian Armstrong Company as a Vice President Manufacturing and Innovation. We manufacture the rubber cords and apron which goes to spinning industry. Now, whatever rubber chemistry today I am learning or translating into the industry, that is purely because of my senior, Dr. Rabin Datta. I joined in ISCS in 1984 as a research scholar under guidance of Dr. Deepak Kumar Basu. At that time, only Dr. Rabin Datta was there, and I joined at that time, and Dr. Nityananda Naskar was also present, and we three made a group among ourselves, and whatever I did in my PhD, it was absolutely with the blessings of Dr. Basu and more to Dr. Rabin Datta. Today is really a very special and emotional day for me, and I am walking in the memory lane with Dr. Rabin Datta. Emotionally, I am really becoming emotional because 4 years I had spent, and it was very magical time for me. When I joined as a research scholar, I was not knowing that much how to do the research, how to select the topic, and how to go ahead. But Rabinda guided me everything, and as a human being, Dr. Rabin Datta was really a great and down-to-earth person. Every speaker have told the same thing, and I will also echoing the same. He was such a man with whom I could share everything in my life. And as a scientist, as Dr. Amit Das and all other people have told, he was a very dedicated and workaholic. Once he takes something, in his job, he was not getting peace until and unless he finished that. So I joined in 1984 in IACS and I left around 1987 after completion of research, and due to sudden death of my father, I had to quit further research and I had to accept the job. But I can still remember the type of help I have got from Dr. Rabin Datta was unforgettable, and I don't want to forget also. Starting from selection of my research area to editing the paper, and ultimately the motivation what he had passed on me was praiseworthy. His wife, Dr. Sumana Datta, was also equally helpful and cooperative. You know, when I was making the samples and trying to go outside Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science for testing of different tests in our samples, then Dr. Rabin Datta told me that why you are going, you go to my wife, she is working in organic department and she will do all the NMR spectroscopy and IR spectroscopy like that. So you will not believe, it has saved my so much time. And Sumanati was also very helpful in this particular matter. So I was getting privileged to get the test done in the organic chemistry department. I have never seen Dr. Rabin Datta to become angry or to lose his temper. You know, sometimes I do silly mistakes, but he never humiliated or insulted me for that. And he always asked me that, Oshanto, never be frustrated. Because first, when my first paper was sent to Rubber Chemistry and Technology Akron University, and it has come back after 6 months with some remark on correction of few areas. So it was a very bad day for me because I didn't know how to go ahead now. I thought that maybe my research career will be end. But when Dr. Rabin Datta came to know that I am so much pensive mood, he came forward and told Prashanto, never be frustrated. Research is such an area where you have to, where there will be always ups and downs. So I must say that for completion of my research, Dr. Rabinda was very much instrumental. Most of the Sunday or holiday, you know, he used to call me in his residence to take either lunch or dinner. And we used to spend hours after hours in his house because he was such a great cook, which most of the speakers told also, and I have experienced that. And he used to cook chicken curry, fish curry, and cauliflower curry, everything with the same attitude. And I sometimes was asking him, you are not only a great scientist and great rubber chemist, but you are a great cook also. He was enjoying that, you know. So what I will say, really, it was the day when I enjoyed maximum, and it was very much energetic for me also. So he was actually very keen to go to abroad for completion of his postdoctoral fellowship. So I left Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science in 1988, in the beginning of the 1988, that is maybe in the February or March I left and joined in a job in Mumbai. But I must say that I could not complete my research work until and unless I got Dr. Rabin Datta's help. Lovingly, we all used to call him Ravinda. So I feel I am very lucky that I have worked for 4 years with Dr. Rabin Datta, who was not only a great rubber scientist, but also a wonderful human being. I wish Dr. Sumana Datta and his son, Mr. Souvik Datta, and all his family members and team members very healthy and peaceful life. All the best, and thank you very much again to TechnoBiz for giving me opportunity to be a speaker in today's seminar. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Prashant Kumar Das. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
May I invite Dr. Nityananda Naskar? Please come forward, sir.
Hello. Hello. Good
Yeah,
afternoon
proceed,
to
sir.
everybody. Thank you, Firam and Samor, for giving me this opportunity to speak about Dr. Rabin Datta on this webinar. It is really wonderful to talk about Dr. Rabin Datta, an eminent scientist in the field of rubber science and technology. I came in contact with him in the year 1984 when I have joined in the Department of Macromolecules of Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, Kolkata, as technical officer to take care of the instruments related to rubber research. At that time, Rabin was a research scholar in the same department under the supervision of Professor Deepak Kumar Basu. He completed his PhD work in the year 1987. After that, he mentored two junior PhD students of Professor Basu. They are Prashant Kumar Das and Shravan Kumar Mandal. During this time, he also constantly inspired and motivated me to involve in the research work, and consequently, I expressed my willingness to Professor D.K. Basu, and Professor Basu was kind enough to give consent to my desire, and as usual, the responsibility of initial guidance was imposed on Dr. Rabin Datta. After a few months, at the early stage of my research, Rabin Datta left India for Germany in the year 1988 to join in the research group of Professor Prusman as a postdoc fellow. During this period, 1984 to 1988, I had an opportunity to come close to Rabin. His sincerity, dedication, devotion, brilliancy, his ready wit, his quick learning capability impressed me too much. From Germany, he still constantly encouraged us to extend his hands of cooperation in all respect. As you heard of this from Dr. Prashant Kumar Das earlier, after completing PDF in Germany, he got job in Flexis in the Netherlands and successfully continued this job for a long time. But due to some unavoidable circumstances, probably in the year 1999, he left Flexis and joined the Tezin Aramid in the Netherlands. He had a keen interest in academics, and finally, he was able to join in the group of Professor Noordermeer of University of Twente in the Netherlands for a part-time assignment. He guided a number of PhD students there. You have heard about this from Professor Kingshuk Naskar also. He published a huge number of research papers, reputed journals, and filed an appreciable number of patents. He also published many books. You have heard all these from the previous speakers. He proved his worth in both academics and industry. During this time, in 2003, he also made an opportunity for me to work in the research group of Professor Nurdarmiyar as a postdoc fellow in the University of Twente. I was there for 1 year from March 2003 to March 2004. In this period, I have published one research paper and filed one patent with Professor Nurdarmiyar and Dr. Rabin Datta. During my stay at Netherlands, my family members, that is my wife, my son and daughter, accompanied me for 3 months. At this stage, Rabin helped us in many ways. He took us to visit many places of interest in the Netherlands. He cordially invited us to his home several times. And as you heard of you that he was a very good cook. Yes, we took these foods and how delicious that was. He has done a lot for us. We never forget all these. I am very proud to have a friend like Rabin. He is truly my friend, philosopher and guide. He passed away untimely at the age of 49 on 5th April 2009. This news was a bolt from the blue for us. We are shattered. It is an irrecoverable loss to us. We pray to God, may his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nityananda Saskar. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's all how we have the invited speakers today. May I invite all the speakers to open your webcams to come on board, please. May I invite Dr. Rabin Datta as well, please. Yes.
Load shedding problem.
Okay. Thank you very much, all. Thank you. I'd like to invite Mr. Shabik Datta to give thank you remarks to the panelists and the please. Shabik.
Thank you all, dear panelists, for your kind words, your personal stories about my father. I also want to thank all of the audience that you took the time and that you took the time to listen to our stories about my father, and I think this is a very nice opportunity to preserve the legacy of my father, and I want to thank Mr. Peram and Dr. Mukhopadhyay for organizing this event, and I wish you all the best. I would say stay safe and stay healthy, and I hope to keep in touch with you all. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shobik. May I invite Mr. Rajat Datta, the brother of Dr. Rabin Datta, please.
Yeah, thank you so much for all the wonderful memories you shared. It has been a sheer pleasure to be a part of this. It has been a journey down memory lane for us, and our heart are now filled with one memory that each and every one of us shared with Rabin. Once again, I would like to thank Param for his wonderful initiative. I wish everyone good health and luck in this new year. Stay safe and have a lovely day ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Rajat. Anybody would like to share any final remarks before I invite Dr. Samal? Dr. Mukhopadhyay, sir, please.
Yeah, actually, I have listened, and the close to my heart, I know Rabin, the way he's a really perfect educationist, researchers, knowledge sharing. And several times when I talked with him, in the last 2009, 28th of January to 31st January, when he came to the Calcutta conference, when I was chatting with him, he was under stress, whatever may be the cases, but he never shared the stress. In that respect, he was a little bit introvert. But I now remembering after that, with 3-4 months, he has to pass away. Everybody has to go one day, but the people remember what the legacy left behind. For the last 2.5 hours, what we listened, the legacy what Rabin Datta kept it is an exemplary, and future generation will remember his contribution in research, especially those who are working in these vulcanizing mechanisms. And he was really, when he discussed with me about the future technology, and on those days, silica, green technology, a lot of discussion we had, how to do it on, this is his people. He always think about not for today's for today, today's for tomorrow. That was Rabin Datta. And I convey my regards and respect, Sovic and so on above. Please take care. I think so. Father is not there, or husband is not there. Legacy left there. If all of you remember the way the rubber fraternity across the globe, they get their respects today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mukhopadhyay. Thank you very much. Nico, would you like to share any words?
Thank you all for organizing and for the contribution. To be honest, what I liked very much is to hear that the experience about Rabin, for most of us, is almost the same. The friendliness, the smiling, the coaching. When you make something yourself, a story, and then it's nice to see that it's more or less the same as all of you have the same experience. So I like that very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Kanika, would you like to share your words?
Yeah, I agree with Nico. Everyone experienced the same. That really confirmed who Rabin Datta is and his personality. I mean, he treats everyone the same, and we experience all the same. So, yeah, I cannot say more than that. So, really enjoy to hear everyone reflect on him, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Dr. Talma?
Yes, yeah, I cannot agree more than what Nico and Kanika were mentioning. The only thing to add is I'm back at the university these days, and his legacy around there is still going on, and we keep continuing working in his way, but also on his topics. So it lives on, I would say. Thank you all.
Kinsu?
Yes, Piram, thanks to you, Dr. Samar, and Mr. Kamalis Jain for organizing such a wonderful event. And it was really nice to have the knowledges and the remembrance of him, and especially for the new scientists, new robot technologists. I think it is very important for them to remember the work of Dr. Datta. He will be always remembered as a great and eminent, robot technologist, right? So thank you very much, and also last but not the least from my side is Shobik wished us all the good luck, but also I personally I wish Mr. Shobik Datta good luck in your life, and whenever I am in Netherlands, then I'll be in touch with you. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Kinsu. Leo, would you like to share?
Yeah, I'm first of all grateful to be a part of this whole session, but I am so impressed by all people having still a very excellent, good memory with Rabin and all the positive work he did. He was really a remarkable man, and I'm 100% sure, having heard all this story, he will be in our hearts forever. Thank you for that.
Mr. Dhar? Unmute yourself, sir.
Yes, it was a great occasion to express our feeling about Dr. Rabin. I've been in the industry also for quite some time. I always tell there are a lot of brilliant scientists, brilliant engineers, technicians globally, but combination of a good human being and a good scientist is very, very rare. And Dr. Rabin Datta was an exception. He will be always in our heart. And everybody has added a lot of, it's not a story, but it is coming from the core of the heart. I only wish that Dr. Sumana, I understand that she was not well. Pray to God that she recovers very fast. And best of luck to Mr. Shobik. I met you may not remember me, but I met you when you were very young. You were at the hostel. And we do cherish that memory, though it was a very short memory, but it has created a permanent spot in my heart. Thank you, Madam, and thank you all the panelists to contribute to the memory of Dr. Rabin Datta as a person as well as a scientist. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dhar. May I ask Dr. Prashant Das, please?
Yeah, I really remember smile of Dr. Rabin Datta. It was magical smile. I never forget. Whenever I was going to him with any problem and all, I never see him gloomy. That magical smile. I will request everybody to keep that smile in our face also. Then only we can be really remembering Dr. Rabin Datta. Thank you, Peram. And thank you, Shobik. My son's name is also Shobik. He is also staying in Netherlands, in The Hague. And he is working as a bioinformatician in a virologics clinics. And I hope that whenever I will visit next time, I will be able to meet you and Sumanadi also. And Ami, same to you, Ami. If I go next time, I will also try to meet you again. Thank you, Ami. Thank you, Dr. Nityananda. I am really very happy to see you after a long time. We are all colleagues at that time, co-workers, but we are in such a different in our life. And this legacy of Dr. Rabin Datta has made us under the one umbrella. It's really very good. Thank you very much.
Mr. Jaimani, sir, please. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Mr. Jaimani, can you unmute yourself, please?
So for that, Rabin was more involved as an industry-oriented person. But after hearing so many people that he was equally involved in academic area also. And that was his success. Now I realized that there was a gap between academic and the industry. This man bridged the gap between academic also one hand and the industry on the other hand, so that he can be able to make a bridge, and that is his success and the innovation for his new chemical and other things. After this event, I learned that he has given equally spent time in academic area also. That is a new learning that I got about the gentleman. And I once again thank you and Param and Samar for organizing this event to a tribute to this wonderful human being and Dr. Rabin Datta. We never forget in our life. Thank you very much for organizing this.
Thank you, Mr. Jaimani, sir. Thank you very much. Dr. Amit.
Yes. So first of all, I would like to pay my special tribute to Rabin Datta. Actually, in my academic career, when I am achieving something, I am feeling a emptiness that I cannot share my achievement with somebody who has given me such opportunity to get a job here. This is my first feelings. For example, when I'm publishing a paper or having an award, ACS award, I had an ACS award some times ago. So my heart is then full of emptiness. I don't know why it is happening, but I would like to ask Param to continue with such activities, not only discussing about his personal interactions, but also with respect to his achievement in rubber science and technology. For example, what he has done, this kind of message should be conveyed to the younger people, younger generation. So it will be highly appreciated if you parents take some initiative in the legacy of Dr. Datta, so that it would be more scientific, so that somebody can present, for example, binary accelerator, the contribution from Dr. Datta. So I am missing such things today. Maybe next time you will do something, or maybe other audience who are here can think about such activity, so that we can keep this event every year. This is my special wish. Thank you everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Amit. It's a wonderful suggestion. Now I know who are the people attached to the Dr. Rabin Datta. So we can plan something related to that angle. So thank you very much. Wonderful session. Thank you very much. May I ask Dr. Nityananda Naskar, please?
Yeah. Thank you, Param. Still today, when I close my eyes, I can remember all the sweet memories with Dr. Rabin Datta. We cannot forget all these. It will remain in our mind forever. And I wish Souvik for his success in life, and I think he will be a worth son for his worthable father. Yeah, thank you, Param, for organizing this webinar Thank you, Piram, and also Dr. Samar Bandyopadhyay for organizing this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The topic, I want to make a note here. As you see, everybody attached to the your father, Dr. Rabin Datta. Whenever in India, whenever you need some help or anything that you have an extended family, and I see everybody so attached to your father, whether it's professionally, whether it's personally. I think there is a huge emotion here. Please be in touch. It's Rabin Datta's family. Okay, probably we're not blood connected, but we are rubber connected. Okay, let's put that way. Yeah. May I ask Dr. Samar Bandyopadhyay to come forward and share give vote of thanks to the panelists as well as the audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Piram. First of all, I must sincerely thank Nico Hunting. When we planned this program, Nico was the first person who gave us all the support. He gave the number of Dr. Sumana's email address. Everything was received. It was 3 months back, almost now 3 months. But we were not getting any reply from Dr. Sumana. So 2 months almost we lost. And then Auke Talma, Dr. Auke Talma, one day he sent the number of Sovik. And when we contacted Sovik with his email address, and Sovik gave us the permission that we can host this event. And from that day onwards, everything started. Thanks Auke Talma for giving this nice support. And you and Johan Baij, you have given the maximum number of photographs. So the video could be made with your kind support. Nico, you were the first person to send 4 photographs of Dr. Rabin Datta. And thanks also to Narapati Dhar, who has planned the event. Basically, he gave the contact of Nico Hunting, and then subsequently it proceeded. Thanks, Narapati Dhar, for all your kind support. And slowly we came in contact with other people like Leo. Leo, I know you from last 2 years back, and we were in WhatsApp call, WhatsApp chat, and we got all support. Then Kaninika, you also came forward, and you also give a lot of photographs. So thanks to Kaninika. Then Kingsuk Naskar, Kingsuk also sent some 5 photographs. Peram, am I right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So Kingsuk, thanks to you, and thanks for joining this event. Nityanandada, you sent so many photographs. And more pleasant thing is that Nityanandada gave the contact of Rajat Datta, the elder brother of Ravinda. And Rajat Datta gave some precious photographs, like childhood photographs, and photograph of the parents, brothers and sisters. All these are rare. Those photographs were not with us. So thank you, Rajat, for giving all those nice things. Prasantada, I am also thanking you for speaking so high about Ravinda. Mr. Jamani, special thanks to you, because whenever we requested you to talk about Rabin Datta, and you always supported us. Thanks to you. Amit Das, thank you very much for giving us all support and moral boost for hosting this program. I think I have given thanks to everybody. And last, the Peram, a wonderful chap and highly professional. And without your this support, this program could not have been conducted. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you very much. I'm about to end this program. I want to read out this statement.
Sorry, Dr. Mukhopadhyay, I missed. He is my very close person, but I have missed. Thank you. Dr. Mukhopadhyay, thank you very much. I'm sorry that I missed your name. You are so close to me and I missed your name. I'm sorry for the same. Dr. Mukhopadhyay also said,
don't mind, Siri. Rabin Datta is so close to my heart. I do not remember, I cannot express. We chat hour after hour, even though we fly together in some of the conferences. You know, surprised to know I have attended 8 international conferences, 8 iTech with Rabin Datta. So all the conferences where he delivered the papers. So those photographs is available at Udaipur. I don't have at Mysore. That's the problem. Thank you. Very nice having you. Thank you.
Sovik, all the best wishes from us, and very much thank to you that you came forward and this program could be taken place. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Samar. Yes, I'm about to end this program with a heavy heart. I'm more inspired by knowing about Dr. Rabin Datta. He's really a true eminent rubber industry professional. His legacy continues in the rubber industry, fraternity, hearts and minds, with the lessons learned from his values, teachings, and writings. I thank you all. I'm very proud that I have got an opportunity to do this one, honor to do this kind of activity on behalf of Dr. Rabin Datta. I'm hoping that young people, take these lessons, whatever you mentioned about Dr. Rabin Datta, take it forward and make use of. I think I appreciate Dr. Amit's suggestion about doing his topics as a presentation in the future. I will consider do that one. With that note, I thank you all for joining this session today. And this program will be available on YouTube probably tomorrow onwards. And I want to encourage all of you to share this as many young people as possible to pass on this journey of the Dr. Rabin Datta. Thank you all. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, Parent. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, bye, bye.
Okay.
Have a nice evening and have a nice, wonderful day.
Bye, Alka. Nice to see you.
Bye, 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 bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye, bye. See you next time.
Bye. Stay well.
Tot ziens, Sovik.
Rajan sir, thank you very much, sir. Rajan sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Nityanand sir, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you. Rajat will be in touch in future as well.
Okay, Nardi sir, thank you very much. We talk again. Yeah? Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Mr. Param.
Okay, Dr. Samar, we catch up again. I'm closing the program now. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.